We all remember Celeste in different ways. Everyone here probably knew at least one Celeste, but there were so many. You could say that she was a force of nature, glorious, tempestuous, unpredictable, often out of control. If you want to see again that real Celeste, truly as herself, effervescent and changeable and spinning you around, I recommend an obscure comedy that's on Netflix, or you can see a sample on YouTube. The movie is called Champagne for Caesar, and in it Celeste plays a hired seducer out to derail the hero Ronald Colman. Of course, we know how it will come out. But in this part she rings many changes: sparkling, flirtatious, clever, kittenish, elegant, innocent, overbearing, mischievous, exasperating, imperious, adorable, and incandescent. Let me describe also a grander Celeste Holm that unfortunately I can't point you to, the grandest Celeste Holm I ever saw. It was the musicale she gave at hotel dining rooms like the Persian Room here at the Plaza here in New York around 1951. With a fanfare, she swoops in what I remember as a gray satin hoop skirt, singing beautifully and charming our ears off. She sings I Love Paris and Here I'll Stay and other wondrous tunes, including one in perfect French and one in perfect German, culminating in the rambling chanson de garbage that Ruth Aarons had written for her. I believe this number introduced the pseudo-French word garbage to the English language, which I've heard the French have now embraced, bless them. God, I was enchanted. How I wish that she had cut albums of her singing shows. But we're not here to regret what did not happen. We're here to celebrate what was. I speak not only as her son, but as her brother. After her first divorce, when I was born, she bestowed me safely on her wonderful parents while she went on with her career. So we were both raised by the same two people 20 years apart. I was her adopted brother, always joyful to see her. My happiest early memory of her was when we played in a hammock. I might have been 4. I remember her visits 2 or 3 times a year. She would deliver her wonderful monologues to the spellbound 3 of us. She would go on about the theater guild and the plots of plays and movies, and later her nemesis, Darryl Zanuck. And sometimes I got to go backstage. When I was 6, Oklahoma was the smash hit that made her a Broadway star. I got to wonder, bemused on the set, that it looked so different from out in the audience. It wasn't until my 17th year that I moved in with her and my wonderful little brother Dan. For the few years till I finished college, I got to know her as a mother. When she was in a good mood, there was no one in the world more fun to be with. But a problem immediately arose between us. She knew everything, and I knew everything. But they were a different everything, and she had never been contradicted before. Jean and Theodore Holm had raised us both to be independent and confident, but not always to be diplomatic. So those were exciting times. I have time for one of her stories. When Oklahoma was about to open, she wondered whether it would be a hit. So she asked every member of the crew, and every one of them said no, it wouldn't be a hit, based on his or her own specialty. The last person she asked was the wardrobe mistress. It won't be a hit, said the wardrobe mistress. Thick seams. Though she hated details, her intuition was extraordinary. From her I learned to trust my own intuition, which was a great gift. But unfortunately, other people don't trust my intuition, so I think she got a lot further with it. She never wanted to know about details or consequences. She didn't want to think about the consequences of breaking her contract at Fox. She might have been a real movie star rather than a supporting actress. She didn't want to think about the consequences of her crazily rebuilding an old farmhouse which wrecked it. She didn't want to think about the consequences of the men she chose. She was a free spirit in her heart, unencumbered by complication, whatever happened. By a miracle, her sons and our wives were finally allowed to see Celeste, practically her last day on earth, after 8 years that we couldn't. I got to tell her that Marlene and I had finally gotten married, and Dan got to tell her that she had great-grandchildren. She seemed to smile. For this, we thank the wonderful staff at Roosevelt Hospital. And let me say one last thing. Whatever you may have heard, we love her at least as much as those with louder voices. Thank you.